2 or 3 members, I think 3 members of City Council, deems to be best for it to be done in terms of exploring things that it should be exploring to run its business properly going forward. Well, obviously we want to make sure that as we go through making that very important decision that we acknowledge the fact there are people who are enthusiastic about that and believe very strongly that it should happen. And so now, and that's part of the difficulty of my job and those who are elected, is we have to make these decisions in light of the fact there are more than one side to every story. And in this case, we have a staff report that has suggested a number of reasons we should not proceed with a bid, and that is their recommendation. We also have a feasibility study from the people at Expo, which has some favorable numbers in it, and we're going to have a meeting on Wednesday and listen to those who wish to come in and be heard on all sides, and then we'll make a decision. But it's one of those things where, in my case, I had a very expert and I think balanced, objective group of people give us some criteria upon which we should base these decisions. And I, for one, am guided by what those people said. And I want to listen, though, to everything everybody has to say and to acknowledge all the work that's been done on this, and then we'll decide. Well, my understanding is that the Public Health Department indicate they need some more inspectors. And so I would only tell you that my principal objective, I think the thing that we're put in public life to safeguard more so than anything else, is this kind of a standard. And so if it requires more inspectors and that requires an increase to the budget in that area, then that's what will be done. But at the moment, they're considering all that within the context of the overall budget. And I would hope that just as they could find some efficiencies in some areas of their budget, and they've been working hard at that as well, that if they need to have more inspectors to meet the provincial standard, then that's exactly what we'll do.
Mayor Tory, today's Scarborough revealed how in your office and also the TTC used a misleading briefing note to get councillors to back the Scarborough subway. Are you concerned about the politicization of city staff and TTC?
From my reading of the story, it didn't indicate any involvement, nor was there any of my office or anybody else in the political realm writing up that note. The note was written up. Did we then take the note and use it? And again, I don't accept any characterization of it in one way or the other. As far as I'm concerned, that information came from the TTC, and I should have the right to rely on that, and so should other people in the public realm. Here's the real bottom line. The real bottom line is I received a mandate in the election campaign. 80% of the people of Toronto voted for a candidate who supported the Scarborough subway. I was one of those candidates. Secondly, an overwhelming 2/3 of the members of City Council voted just recently to proceed with that subway after a debate that was as extensive as any we've ever had, including full participation by media in favor and opposed, and other people in favor and opposed. And I respect that process, and I now respect that the mandate I have from people is to get on with this. And I think people are tired of the fact that every single time we make an overwhelming 2/3 decision at City Council about something, there are people who are going to say, well, there was a memo here or a piece of paper there. We're going to get on with building transit in this city. This is part of building a 21st century city, is building transit, and you've often asked me how we're going to pay for it, and we're going to be spelling some of that out this fall as well. But my job is to provide leadership in this city and to get things done, and that is exactly what I intend to do going forward.
The bottom line is actually $3.2 billion for a one-stop subway, and we know that's going to go up. How much are you willing to spend city taxpayers' money on one stop?
You know, again, I respect your right to ask me any question you wish any day of the week, but these are the kinds of questions that have been asked over and over again, and the bottom line is that City Council had a lot of information in front of it. It made an overwhelmingly positive decision, 2/3, in favor of building the Scarborough subway, and I now take the vote of the City Council forward. I take the mandate I received from the people forward, and I'm looking forward to the fact that in my lifetime, they'll be talking about extending that Scarborough subway again, because it's brought so many jobs and so much investment to Scarborough, and it's brought proper transportation to the eastern part of the city as part of the first 15-year plan that I brought forward that we've ever had in this city, which includes a whole lot of things like smart track, waterfront transit, LRTs in the east and the west, and the Scarborough subway. And I'm proud of that, and I'm going to keep pushing it forward because that's what I was elected to do. Yes. You'll see as we get to the executive committee on Wednesday, because I just see a sense that this is one of those issues that's kind of percolating up, and that I'm very anxious to avoid a situation where, we get to the stage where it becomes some kind of a crisis, or one of those kind of wars that sort of happen between different groups. There's a lot of concern out there about this. There's a lot of people who obviously benefit from it and use it and are part of it, but I want to make sure that we stay on top of it, and so you'll see that I'll have some things to say about that before or during the time of our meeting this week.